Hey cuties! Welcome back to another playthrough of Tokyo Afterschool Summoners. You're going to be finishing the story of Valentine's Crossroad, with both episode 6 as well as the epilogue being covered today. Let us hop right in. So, where we last left off, it seems that we finally took care of the Dark ABC squad, which is actually short for the Research Agriculture Biology Chemistry Club. And we were about to stop them, but Hippolytus seems to be having an episode at the last possible second. My speculation is it's related to him actually wanting the aphrodisiac they've been working at so that he could feel love, but we will see. I will have to change the title if that is not the case. But welcome you, Chen and Oddly Rival. Always good to see you, beautiful people. Let us do this. And hopefully we can save for Hippolytus. As usual, let me know if the sound is fine. I've said many times before that when it comes to ranger shows, my favorite thing ever is when heroes form into squadrons. But I just like hero stories in general, really. Masked heroes just have a certain timeless appeal to them. I particularly like when a hero and an arch nemesis were evenly matched face off over their respective ideals, and you just never know where those kinds of stories will take you. Whenever I introduce someone new to work like that, I usually come away impressed, surprised at just how deep and engrossing the story gets. Of course, Oddly. Just by your nature, you're quite beautiful. I was surprised myself when I first got into this. I'd assumed that I'd be watching predictable shows where the good guys easily beat the bad guys, and then it's happily ever after. But no, instead, the good guys and the bad guys are usually on truly equal footing, and the fight winds up being a close one. And all the characters who make an appearance are protagonists in their own stories, rather than just supplementing the main character's tale. Oh, and the part that always grabs me and doesn't let go, because I always think to myself, it's just like in real life, you know? Super fan. I was born a Krampus. Okay, first acknowledgement of many. Actually, this might be the second acknowledgement or one of many. And always expected to punish naughty children. But that's just a role I've been given. It doesn't inherently make me any better or worse, or any more right or wrong than anyone else. No protagonist wins just because they're the protagonist, and working under the assumption that any character at all can have the potential to win. And that just makes me more inclined to watch my ranger flicks and think to myself, which of these heroes, these protagonists, do I want to be? Valentine's Crossroads re-release. Are we actually having a Krampus feature all of a sudden? After this time? He already had his choice, but I guess he never had a proper feature. With Hippolytus standing directly in your path, you hesitate for just a moment and stop in your tracks. No, well, we're not finished yet. I won't accept that we're destined to be losers here. We just need to buy some time until the Ace of Candy Hearts is fully shaken out of my sleeve. Hold still, damn it! Stop! Stop, he says. Does anyone ever actually stop when they hear that? The Dark ABC Force leader produces a smoke bomb from some heretofore unforeseen pocket and tosses it to the ground, halting everyone else in their tracks as well. I can't see a thing. What even is this smoke? Is it safe to breathe? I don't wish to drag you into further damage, and giving chase under these circumstances would certainly be that. Can't we do anything about the smoke? Ignore smoke contraction anyways. Hello, Joe. Goodbye, Joe. Joe in his Gone Girl era just says hi, then disappears. Don't be reckless. You'll get hurt. We need to do something to clear the smoke before we continue. There should be a ventilation system in a room like this. The leader of the Dark ABC Force, and he alone, makes a break for the laboratory above while you're all busy dealing with the smoke. What exactly is Paul doing? Take Valentine, talk to my comrades. I will re-establish your glorious stagnation in time and come back to rescue all. Making one final faux heroic vow under his breath, the leader quickly draws in on the exit to the lab, he's practically home free. But in his gratitude to have successfully escaped, he neglects to confirm he's actually in the clear until it's a bit too late. A little right there, agrobiochem. No! The last person I want to see right now stands between me and freedom, and it's closing that gap fast. The Dark ABC Force leader recoils in shock at the imposing figure approaching him and freezes up in fear. How are you here so quick? According to my calculations, it should have taken you much longer to get here. Yeah, I'm gonna skip my chat again because the animation wanted it. A delinquent to the left of me, executive coming to the right. No, stop! Stay back! He grabs a nearby shelf and shakes it hard, causing all the glass pictures and flasks of who knows what to fall to the ground and shatter, hoping it'll help buy him some time. I actually did send a bug report about this animation skip thing, but I didn't even get a confirmation email that it was received. Not knowing what else to do, he turns tail with the intent to head back into the underground room. But in his confusion, he loses his footing and tumbles head over heels down the stairs. Rip. What the? Leader! He came back. Quick, surround him! Don't try anything funny, I got it. What's going on? I thought he'd managed to escape, but now he's back and he's looking a lot worse for wear. Yes, I suspect he may have run into Wolf in the lab up above. I asked him to keep watch there, just in case. So there was a connecting room between the secret room and the lab. That's an affirmative. He came bounding up to the door, trying to escape, but it blocked the way, and you can see how that went. Wolf descends to the stairs and apprehends the Dark ABC Force leader, who can't even stand under his own power anymore. Hippolytus, what's up? Named the title after you, and it wasn't even after you at all. What's going to happen to us now? Suspension? Expulsion? Or are we going to be sent to the experimental farm? What? No! Anything about that! We'd have to wake up at first light and work to the fields until nighttime, and sleep outside. Where did you hear that from? Sounds like some unscrupulous students have been spreading malicious rumors. The Dark ABC Force members bemoan their fates as they find themselves completely restrained and sorely unable to escape now. We were so close to realizing a grand vision. What a waste. If you hadn't gotten in their way, our lives would be a lot different starting tomorrow. We never had any dates on summer break, winter break, or on holidays during the year. All that would have changed in an instant. When school events are on the horizon, the excitement in the air wouldn't make us uncomfortable anymore. Can't you see that's all we ever wanted was to make me happy school memories like everyone else? My comrades, cease your shameless lamentines. The dream is dead. We have invested. Our revolution is not to be. In the end, we cannot escape our destinies. We are the losers of this Valentine. The Dark ABC Force leader, seemingly not just accepting defeat, but wallowing in it, rebukes his followers for wallowing harder and louder still. Well, at least you've accepted your situation. But I do get where you're coming from. I do. Probably not good coming from MC. Yeah, like, maybe I get it, but MC definitely does not. Seeing young upstarts fail at their attempted coup is like looking in a mirror, in some ways. It hurts the heart. Give it your all, but it wasn't enough, eh? It's nothing to be proud of, but it ain't nothing to be ashamed of neither. Think of it this way. Our tars are 99 people out of 100 may see a failure, but the 100 sees it differently. Winning or losing is all a game of chance in the end. Change your point of view and you stand to change your outlook. I mean, I'm not exactly the luckiest person in love myself, so I'm not really one to lecture these guys to being good. I have nothing to say either. Not before fully investigating the effects of this scheme on the event, the school, and beyond. If you show some signs of remorse before judgment is passed down, then we may be able to grant you some measure of leniency. We did get in touch with the owner, you know. He gave his seal of approval. Said this revolution could revolutionize agriculture. Oh, Perun instigated this? What? You expect me to believe Lord Perun signed on your dastardly scheme? By my heart, the repurposing of flora that's come out on top is in the fight for survival, and the chemicals used to nurture it. You would, yeah. All sanctioned. But in the end, it seems our work is to be named invalid and stricken from the rugged. Alas. Granted, we had an ulterior motive for our proposal from the start, but can you really blame us? We wanted to be able to enjoy our Valentine, all the marvelous events this school hosts, just like anyone else. You want to attend Valen events filled with Valen couples and Valen lovers, but don't by yourselves and not be subjected to Valen stares and Valen pity. We've had enough of couples discounts, enough of love giving people special perks. Our hearts are not like that in Valen life. If the world turns based on loving Valen lovers, then what else can we do but fight to change the world? The Valen Revolution! Change the world! This is my final message. Goodbye. Well, one thing's for sure. You didn't do any of this half-heartedly, even if you caused no end of problems as a result. Hippolytus, wake up. While everyone else in your group is very vocal in their response to the actions taken by the Dark ABC force, Hippolytus just seems lost in thought. Hippolytus? What's wrong? The compound seized from the rogue's hideout in the sands. Hippolytus studies it intently as he answers. I'm just wondering what will become of the slow potion now that the Dark ABC forces plans have been thwarted. If he picked differently, would he have taken it himself? That'd be pretty cursed. What do you think, Wolf? This is a potentially harmful substance. Proper procedure dictates that I seize and dispose of it. However, learning that Lord Perrin approved its development, even in part, gives me pause. We may wish to wait upon his judgment. If that's the case, then may I request permission to hold on to it myself? The students have reluctantly accepted their defeat, but listening to them talk about it got me thinking. This compound could represent an agricultural revolution. I may have unlocked the secret to a compulsory breeding season. Hippolytus pages through the report accompanying the completed love potion, and incredulity in his eyes tells a story of just how remarkable this research must be. This compound could incite flora breeding regardless of season. It's a side effect, but it may cause the reproductive cells in the plant to essentially never decay. Beyond that, even, it could allow any species to be receptive to breeding with any other, like breeds striving against the odds. It's all still a bit rough and conceptual, but if developed, this could keep crops fresh, indefinitely. It's a true breakthrough! I should note, some research was greatly aided by a professor of immortal studies from the world of Agisimba. Who is this? Manticore? I think Manticore's the only one we know, so I don't think he's a professor, though. It's probably like an exchange student of some kind. I don't know who he's referring to here. The Immortal Talks, yeah, but that was between Perun and Smoky God, neither of whom are from Agisimba. I see. A world that holds a deep belief stating there's no death without reason. It's all coming to that. So that's the face of the world, huh? That's literally the circle of life song from Lion King. It's the circle of life. Yes, but we eat the grass after we die, or some shit like that. We become the grass. I always thought that's this explanation for Mufasa was sus. It's like, it's easy for you to say as a carnivore, like, shut the fuck up. And for where I'm standing, I'm starting to realize that this group isn't so far removed from my own perspective after all. You do seem more receptive now. So their data struck a chord with you. That's a perfect turn of phrase to describe it. It struck a chord with me for sure, Arthur. The uncertainty brewing within Hippolytus slowly sparks life from the words of his friends, and the memories he's buried deep down inside, taking on a more tangible form. These people had no choice, but I just finally came to realize that fact, as I did once. No choice? What does that even mean? Well, first of all, let me set the record straight. I do not fully understand their motives, nor do I endorse their actions. I am by no means praising them for what they did. That having been said, Apologist changes his posture to make it clear that he is directly addressing Takeminakata's question here, along with the rest of you who seem to share Takeminakata's concerns. Recounting his own past, he lays bare his thoughts and feelings from his time at Olympus. A world where love strikes like lightning but leaves bigger craters. It was a time when he himself proclaimed, again and again, that he would never concede defeat. If no one else will understand me, then why should I bother understanding anyone else? What kind of world is it that only ever acknowledges me as a failure? How am I supposed to just accept that? But Hippolytus had no choice. Whether he acceded or not relied solely on the whims of fate, and there was nothing he could do to change that. Yeah, it's his nature, is the point. He cannot change the reality that he is different from everyone else, whether he rejects it or tries to cope with it. Those around him could love, he could not. And that was the brutal truth of the hierarchy to which he was unwittingly affixed. Poor Hippolytus. If I'd met you all back then, I might have even joined you in your revolution. Yeah, right. In a pig's eye. Hippolytus? Hippolytus pauses to smile, proud of his quip, before continuing. You all are well aware, I'm sure, that the variety of flora we grow in here is so great that it's almost uncountable, right? Imagine if the Horticulture Club, and myself as its president, were to set up a greenhouse suited to only one species. The other plants and flowers within would wilt and wither over time, right? It's the same for people, isn't it? Hippolytus nods enthusiastically, visibly pleased to see that you two are on the same page. Regarding one specific thing, or person as special is truly a wonderful sentiment. But take it to the extremes, and it works to the detriment of all the other seeds in the flower bed. So even despite all that it has to offer, flora grown with this compound cannot possibly coexist with any other. That includes all of you. It includes me. The only way anything can survive this supercharge is by eliminating the competition. So to you, Dark ABC4, no, to you members of the Agriculture and Biochemistry Club, let me just say, I see you. You all sought to create and maintain some place where you feel you can belong. We aren't so dissimilar in that sense. But taking things to the extremes, even knowing that either you or your opponent would be excluded in the process. That's where it all falls apart. And now that I've figured that out, I can choose a different path for myself, depending on the choices that Ayrton chose earlier. Yet I truly believe that the actions you ABC members took were unavoidable, and I will testify to the fact on your behalf. Not just you, but everyone present opens their eyes in wide in disbelief at what Hippolytus has just proposed. Well, I'm more saying I'll support them, but not until after the school has decided on punishment for what they've done. Certainly not going to stand in front of Wolf and unilaterally demand that he forgive them on the spot. This is all just hypothetical, but I have a dream scenario in my head, you might say. Something I'd like to do with all this. And in order to make that dream reality, I would love to get some additional help from the former Dark ABC Force members. You're such a pushover, Hippolytus. It was your own workshop that saw the worst of all of us, you know. Oh, as a ruler, I am gently impressed that you accept and forgive such transgressions. Your magnanimity is boundless. I don't really get what you're asking us to do, but... You forgive me? You forgive Valinus? What the fuck is that word? My heartfelt thanks for that. After all the problems he caused, though, I don't see that we can agree to much just yet. I don't know that there's any saving us. It's hard to say when the punishment is still undecided, but I guess that's just the way the candy heart crumbles. Although he seems interested, the ABC leader is forced to gently turn down Hippolytus' offer, whatever it may be, by virtue of the fact that his fate, and that of his followers, remain unknown. Hearing this, Taishakunin interjects and issue an appeal to the entirety of the Dark ABC force. When you got someone putting out an olive branch like that, there's only one right thing to do, and that's grab it tight. I don't have no horse in the streets either, but if Hippolytus is calling, you best believe I'm answering that call. I'm gonna say shocking on this. Atone for your sins will no doubt take its toll, but it's not going to last forever. The whole reason I'm here in Tokyo to begin with is that I had the chance for a do-over, and I wasn't about to squander it. Taishakunin, and Takeminakata too. Hey, you. While the others are busy throwing the support behind Hippolytus, Krampus instead reaches out to the ABC leader directly. I'm a big fan of Masked Stranger stuff, and in one of my favorite works, there's an arch villain who talks an awful lot like you. What? That's quite the coincidence. Yeah? Considering what's become of us, I don't think there's any need to hide your love of ranger shows at this point. Krampus ignores the leader's obviously feigned ignorance and continues talking about the character in question. He has a lot of quirks, both in personality and mannerisms, so a lot of people don't like him. But you know, I do. The least he grounded his actions mask his strict principles, and those have earned him a dedicated underground fanbase. So apologies if I've totally misinterpreted this, but you're a fan of that character too, aren't you? My heart, he didn't misinterpret anything. In that case, if we'd met under different circumstances, or no, it could still happen. We could be friends, you and I. We could be named character and unnamed mob friends. Oh my god, I love this. Krampus is typically not one to make his personal hobbies public, always feeling too embarrassed to do so and just enjoying them in private. But ever since meeting you, he's been progressively feeling more and more self-confident, to the point that he's now taken the initiative in reaching out to a like-minded fan. He's even gone one step beyond, reaching his hand to the ABC leader in lieu of an olive branch, claw side down. No fair! Acting so kind after bringing up such a masterpiece! Out of respect for the character, you leave me no choice but to take your hand. The leader of the Agriculture and Biochemistry Club takes Krampus' hand and rises to his feet, his itty-bitty feet. As he stands, so too does his so-called comrades in solidarity. Once all are on their feet, they all bow in apology to you and everyone else. I guess that this means it's really over. Super cool move, Krampus. Krampus, thank you for doing what I couldn't, and really connecting with them. You really stole the show. Out of the blue, too. Can't believe you won him over so easily. Oh, no, it's nothing. This is just how it is between diehard fans. If I say any more, I'll enter spoiler territory. We're worried about spoilers now. I got it. It is a pretty cool scene. Right? Wait. You knew what scene I was referencing? Oh, you were good, Arthur. I must apologize to you, though, Krampus. And to everyone else for that matter. I just... Hippolytus? What is it? Is something else wrong? I believe so. I know you're all feeling quite accomplished, but I regret to inform you the matter has not been fully resolved just yet. Proportional to the relief you are all experiencing, Wolf, it would seem is less enthused. Oh, sorry, Wolf. You have the most loose here, don't ya? Your consideration is appreciated but unnecessary. You've already done more than enough. Now come along, Agribiochem. All of a sudden, the ceiling begins to shake, the glass nearby shatters, and a sound like something heavy scraping across the floor echoes through the room. And unto the crowd of now ill-at-ease onlookers, a menacing silhouette appears, lurching its way in from the door leading up and out of the hideout. Is Palin? There's only one other character in the store, it's Palin. What the heck was that? Sounds like somebody's getting awfully rowdy upstairs. Oh, something is happening in the lab. Come on, we gotta go get up there. That was no earthquake. Wait! Hold up, Marathon. Something's coming down. Taishakunin grabs your shoulders and stops you from rushing any further in to the maw of potential danger. And the next moment, you heard the sound from upstairs as though something is being dragged. The former Dark ABC Force members just seemed as perplexed as the rest of you. Something's definitely going wild up there. But most worryingly, I'm not hearing any voices. Hippolytus, Wolf, are there any rooms above us where fires could easily spread? The only room upstairs that contains anything combustible, explosive, or otherwise dangerous would be the laboratory itself. Well, that's definitely not good for us. But what's worse is, the shadow coming down from here doesn't seem to be a person. You really should get a closer look. Does anyone have a light of some kind? I can try using light on my phone. It's pretty bright. All eyes are now on the figure descending into the room from above. The fuck is that? Lance. Oh no, it's the true enemy of this event. Huh? Oh, that's right. I used the ace of candy hearts up my sleeve earlier and then I just forgot about it. It's an agricultural weapon that perpetually regenerates, can self-replicate instantaneously, and attacks indiscriminately. We're setting lovebirds out here. The hell? I can't decide if you're clever or just stupid. Who keeps a powder keg like that in their back pocket? Willing to sacrifice it all to go out in a blaze of glory should push come to shove. You truly are revolutionaries. Sadly for us. Huh? At least the hole wasn't supposed to look like watermelons though, was it? Bolos. Hey, Hippolytus? I'm sorry everyone, but I think I can make something of this. Hippolytus shoves past you all, right into the heart of the rapidly multiplying flat knife, and begins knitting it into flower wreaths on spot. That's the compound we seized. Don't you plan on using it. The watermelon enemy, the most evil thing in Housamo. Well, it certainly is foreboding in that one chunk to us. Don't you all remember what I said before? I said if you would think you can make me understand love, be my guest. That'd be like a dream come true for me. And then I also asked if it would be okay for me to hang on to the compound, as you might recall. I'm sure you assumed I meant for the time being, to study it for as long as the school allowed. But I never said that. It was my intent to hang on to it forever, to ensure that, no matter what happened, I'd always have a way out. The entire room has already been taken over by undying plants, which Hippolytus seemingly regards as his own eminent domain from which he's earned his crown. Are we fighting Hippolytus here? I don't even know what's happening. I don't know what the fuck you just did. What the fuck? Okay, let's continue. This is gonna be the last proper episode before the epilogue, so part 2, let's do this. I consider myself a devotee to the Lord of the Woods, Artemis, and always felt I knew plants better than anyone else. This made it all the more embarrassing to think that I couldn't wrap my head around love, with breeding being such a crucial part of agriculture. It wasn't the lack of love that frustrated me, but my inability to even comprehend it. It's a question of capability, of power. In other words, it's all about the rule. Artemis's rival, Aphrodite, could handle love just fine. Aphrodite's rule could even cause love to bloom compulsorily, much like the compound I now hold in my hands. As an adherent of Artemis, I can never bow my head to that power. But now... Is he gonna use it on himself so that he can understand love? Now I have a choice. Do or do not. At this late stage hour, I've begun to realize that choosing isn't so difficult. I need to become a version of myself that I can be proud of. I need to love myself. Question is, what awaits me after the choice is made? Initially, it all came down to what I couldn't do, but wished so desperately that I could. But when you prioritize your own selfish desires, then those desires fade. All you're left with is the question, why? Why did I feel it necessary to make the choice I did? Right. I guess what he's saying is, even if he does understand love eventually, alone he got a new set of problems. Other than the very least, he'll, no longer have his previous set, which is unfamiliar with whatever he gets. Do I just hate myself as I am now? No, that's not it. I just want other people to see things my way. I want to be able to hold my own in conversation, without shame, without feeling inadequate or unequal. Do I feel that? The agricultural weapons, the ABC leader's ace of candy hearts, as it were, continue to rise and multiply, though they seem to be actively avoiding Hippolytus as they do so. Watermelons are a little out of season. Can't get anywhere near Hippolytus. Watermelons? Watermelons. Oh, I remember now. One thing. One tiny thing. Those are, exploding watermelons. Oh, classic of Volos. Thank you, Volos. Well, such a guy is known for watermelons. I've always been quick on the uptake, but I do wish this one time he wouldn't have made that connection. Why here, though? I don't recall ever letting those out. Leader, both? Are exploding watermelons, what they sound like? A sensible question. Lord Powden spearheaded research and development into them some time ago. You cannot be retroactively saying that Volos was tasked by Powden to make them. We shall hold a selective reading competition. Competition? That's a wonderful idea. It will help further research from each lab and could do wonders for our reputation. Indeed. Leave it to the werewolves to readily grasp the full extent of my brilliant plan from proposal alone. Now that it's been settled, Vol, I trust you to notify each of the laboratories within the school. Of course. Though if I may ask, Lord Powden, can this competition be limited in its scope, or must it be campus-wide? Limited is fine. There are reasons why it may be better to restrict the competition to only a select few, in fact. Well, should anyone impress me, it will be rewarded with not just a monetary prize, but a full research grant. I see, understood. I shall notify the laboratories at once. With the promise of a grand reward before them, the best of the best all banded together to earn it. And the prior president of the ABC Club won. Volos was the president of the ABC Club, having bred a plant with high sugar content and exceptional all-around durability. If you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, Volos straight up made exploding watermelons in the summer beach. No. He made it in the beach event, Anvari Falls. That sounds like a really positive thing. So what's got everybody on edge about that? Well, let's just say the winning plant was a little too exceptional. Thanks, Volos. Very cool. To please Lord Powden, a considerable amount of focus and effort went into ensuring the plant would grow healthy and strong. Genes were spliced into it from flora belonging to other worlds, and this ultimately led to it reproducing explosively. Additionally, its resistance to this— oh, I see, so that's how Volos did it. He spliced genes from other worlds. Interesting. That's pretty interesting intersection between mythology and, I guess, the science behind it. Additionally, its resistance to disease is off the charts, and it actively captures prey in its tendrils, using it for sustenance as it decides to milk them for their milky nourishment. And worst of all, even after the watermelons take root, they can move about freely in the soil to seek out a better environment. Are they even still watermelons then? I mean, I see they won, but geez. Lord Powden was overjoyed with the result. But something happened in the experimental farm where they were being raised. Through their intense breeding, the tendrils found a gap in their enclosure and got out into the fields, running wildly. All the nearby crops were finding themselves cruelly deprived of water and sustenance, and subsequently wilted away. The school quickly deemed this super plant unmarketable, and all cultivation was halted. Only the seeds are allowed to be kept. And yet, here they are in front of us. Is this doing the ABC Club? Is that the agricultural weapon then? Well, our club was the one in charge of keeping the seeds, which means they would have been stored away somewhere in the lab upstairs. So later, does that mean the ace of candy hearts up your sleeve was? No, of course not. My ace is a creeper Valentine of its own, granted, but it certainly doesn't bear fruit. But when I dumped all those shelves earlier, the seeds may have been on one of them, along with our finished compound. The grand finale of all good ranger shows tends to involve creatures growing massive or fusing together. What if the exploding watermelons, love potion, and a great agricultural weapon all across red and graded? The final boss, if you will. Watermelons, love potion, and agricultural weapon all across red. So they have the vines. Volos supplied the watermelons. The vines came from the Dark ABC Club members. And the love potion, that was also concocted by them, although Hippolytus seems to have delivered it. Yeah! That's horrifying! And even one of them would be bad enough. So this was all an unfortunate accident then. Was his body taking the stream? Can we not acknowledge Volos made this shit? Can we not bring him up? Be like, Jesus Christ, Volos. Come on. Fortunately, it isn't a threat to the likes of me. If I make flower reeds out of these tendrils, it'll form a barrier. Or is the event like so old that they don't even want to give us an option to acknowledge its existence? Because like technically the watermelon competition didn't happen in the event. Rather, Volos just brought it. So that was the incident, I guess, that made them see it. No, never mind. The incident should have happened in Studio Academy, so they just kept on using it until it was banned. It's crazy. It isn't a threat to the likes of me. If I make flowers reeds out of these tendrils, it'll form a barrier. Then I'll use that opportunity to take the potion myself. But I'm the least of your worries. Why does he want to take the potion himself? I don't understand the logic behind this. The super plant is extremely dangerous. We need to pot it. All of it. Before it reaches any other plants on campus grounds. Hippolytus seems kind of eager to take the potion. Hippolytus is more formally in touch with the horticulture than anyone else present. Senses the imminent danger of the situation and leaps into action. ABC Club members, prepare boxes or whatever else you can find to use as containment vessels, and start with those watermelons. Did they just nut on him? But they're exploding! Yeah, poor Valve. He just got watermelon juice all over him. It happened just as Valve attempts to grab a ball on it and pluck it from the vine-like tendrils it's growing on. That's kind of funny, actually. As if containing a landmine within. Sorry, I should listen. Very Looney Tunes. Oh, it just kind of exploded. As if containing a landmine within, the watermelon vigorously explodes on the spot, painting the walls and everything else in the splash radius with its red juices. Oh, if it only is white. What triggered it to blow? Is it just like a whale shooting water? But the guy who produces is scary. Oh, you don't know what's happening here. We stopped cultivating these before they ever grew this big. There must still be research rooms notes about them somewhere. Do you know where Alger Biochem? Yeah, just give me 1 sec. Come on. Yes, here. I've gotten my phone. So, as the fruit of the vine matures, it says genes spliced into it from other plant species have basically rigged it to explode when subject to external stimuli. This spreads the seeds over wider areas so the plant can breed at an accelerated rate. So don't touch them, basically. What options does that leave us? It's all plants from the school, right? Uh-oh. Check it out. Everyone's already starting to bud from the seeds that got ejected. Uh-oh. No, it's all over me. I'm being used as a seabed. The smell of fertilizer is overwhelming. It's going in my mouth and my... And just like that, Volp became fully stuffed with seed. Just in a short while, even reacting to the explosion. All the seeds scattered around are germinating and already beginning to sprout. Wolf successfully shakes off the vines twisting around his body and distances himself from the exploded remnants. The watermelon as best as he can. Gut full of seed. If we act to rush there, we may only contribute to our own ensnarement. We must cut the fruits from the vines as quickly as possible before they fully ripen. Both, are there any others not fit to burst? Not that I can glance, but it's difficult to say. Then I guess the best choice for us now is just to hurry and contain these things, like you were saying earlier. Race against time, huh? Trying to cut them off before they mature? Wait, these came from above us, right? That's a good point. We need to check on things upstairs. I won't worry what we might find. I share your concern. If these things should escape the confines of the lab, it would be an unmitigated disaster. If they explode and spread their seed in far-flung fields, it could lead to the destruction of all the other crops at school. But we must also not overlook Hippolytus' escape. All of our research results belong to Lord Perrin. Leave this ring to us. You need to valiantly chase after Hippolytus all you can, Ayrton. As the person responsible, I know it's not my place to say it, but there's still time to undo this whole mess. I will keep an eye on this riffraff and join them in their fight. You, please do as he says and take the others upstairs with you. Got it. I'll catch up with Hippolytus. Good luck with the men mobs. Let's do it! Ugh. It looks really rough. It's looking rough in here. We're broken glass everywhere. Be sure and watch where you're stepping. It looks like a flood slipped through here too. Don't tell me that's all a love potion. Wait. Oops, I gave him the wrong voice. Oh well. The thing seems to have exploded here at least. Maybe small comfort, but it's comfort nonetheless. Given that our target has no feet to leave prints, it's hard to track how many there are. We can only hope few have mobilized. We follow in the presumed path of Hippolytus, who charged through here with all his might not long ago. What is Hippolytus planning? I know he's planning to take the potion, but I do not understand his train of thought here. What is the reasoning? What is that sort of reason? The exploring watermelons seem to have escaped the lab through a window that was left open for the ventilation purposes. Like, I get he wants to seal them with a secret artifact that, like, makes things, you know, in some isolated purity zone within the land of purity. The fields of purity. But I don't understand why that necessitates he takes the potion. Exiting the building and looping around to that window reveals a series of grooves in the ground, as if something were dragged. That leaves a very clear pathway to follow. Following the trail, you manage to catch up with Hippolytus, who's standing dumbstruck at where the breadcrumbs have led him. Or rather, at what he sees there. I'm not exactly one to talk, but this isn't right. This is mass infidelity on a scale I've never even conceived of before. He only pauses for a moment to take in the unbelievable sight before him, then regains his composure and flees the scene once more before you have a chance to stop him. Is he talking about, like, how much they're breeding with each other? The site in question is that of the Grand Fountain and its surrounding flower beds, only it's all been completely taken over by watermelons, as far as the eye can see. He considers that infidelity? I think that's just like, what's called invasive species at that point. Oh, those poor flowers. So this is what those melons do. It's like a watermelon from now. This is terrible! The flowers here were all so well tended and meticulously cared for! The watermelon seems to have taken over. If one of them bursts here, then that's it! It's over! Ooh yeah, one will cause an explosion of the other. They're blocking Loveless too, making it hard to see at this hour. We should tread lightly so we don't make things worse. That said, this is definitely a state of emergency. So any ideas anyone has on how to handle this quickly would be appreciated. For what it's worth, I would surmise the effects of the ABC Club's compound should be starting to wear off by now. I don't understand what that compound is supposed to do on plants. I mean, I guess Hippolytus gave a somewhat of a suitable explanation. The love potion is supposed to make them interbreed with any other plant? Not really. It seems like they're just destroying them straight up. But it will let them be fertile with themselves, I guess, at any point in time. How would you know that, Masanori? You sound pretty confident for someone who was just a teacher's assistant, same as us. I have a journeyman's knowledge of botany, you might say. More than average, at least. And I noticed something on the way here. The weeds, green, and buds all around the watermelon's trail have been steadily thinning further we go. I surmised the excess compound soaking the vines seeped from them into the ground as they moved, and has begun to dry up. Oh, that's why they grew so quickly and moved so organically into the underground room. That batch is swimming in the stuff. Precisely. And we already know the compound's effect is limited, so any of that soaked in the roots should now be wearing off. Leaving the watermelons to seek a fresh environment for breeding, which this fountain plaza was able to provide. I see. So the fact that they settled into these flower beds suggests they were running low on sustenance then. Meaning even if they burst open here, their seeds ain't gonna sprout right away like they did back to the ABC base. Still, if the seeds were to spread under the cover of the night, we could not easily unearth them all in time. So how do we proceed? A suitable breeding environment? Desperate for nourishment, without spreading their seeds. Is it gonna be Hippolytus' field of purity? I thought that was the plan originally. You ponder Masanori's words and try to come up with a solution, focusing on the unique characteristics of the exploding watermelons to see if any might be exploitable. Hey Masanori, I have an idea. The rest of you hear me out too. Contain the explosions? If you can just deal with the seeds, the vine should be no problems. With all of us together, we can do this. It seems dangerous, but I think it might work. And once you've taken care of the watermelons, we can stop Hippolytus. Yes, I approve of as well. And everything we need should be attainable at the Horticulture Club storehouse nearby. And then what are we waiting for? Let's go. We can get this wrapped up by daybreak. Hippolytus, we're coming for you! What is Hippolytus doing? I don't understand what Hippolytus is doing in the dead of the night. While everyone else sleeps, you and your friends set out to end this madness before they wake. Just as flower beds surround the grand fountain, so too now do containers, heavy-duty bags, and an impressive array of gardening tools surround those flower beds. To an outsider observer, it must look as though you are about to engage in simple farm work, whether transplanting the flowers elsewhere or harvesting these out-of-season watermelons. But the tension in the air belies the notion, exuding not a dutiful yet relaxed feel of an impending gardening project, but rather the immediacy of an urgent bomb-defusing task. Everybody ready? I sure hope this goes to plan. No problems here! The watermelons are wrapped snug as can be. It's exactly as Masanori predicted. The vines are far more docile here than they were back in the underground hideout. Even if we were to contact them and they start to wrap around us, we should be strong enough to easily break free. This would seem to be closer to the behavior expected of exploding watermelons in their natural environment. I'm just grateful they didn't get in my way. And that ought to be the last of them. Through the tireless efforts of you and your friends, every last watermelon is now thoroughly contained within a thick bag, tied to at the stem. Okay, let's see the flower beds are prepared and ready, which means you're up, Earthen. What do they think they're doing? Paulus, still at large and in hiding nearby, ceases his skulking for a moment and looks back in your direction. Krampus and the others quickly but carefully dig up the soil and transfer the flowers that managed to escape the watermelon's takeover into separate flower pots. They then all take refuge as you ready yourself before one of the remaining rogue melons, stick in hand. Alright, here goes nothing. This is so nerve-wracking. Photosynthesis, whoo! I think that's supposed to be ho! Alright, so we're hitting them with a stick while they're in the bag. Whoa! That's still holding, right? That was intense either way. But you know, it was kind of fun too. Yes. Those seeds seem to be leaking out. Everything appears to be going exactly as planned. So we just gotta snip the melons from the vines, then dump the bags in the big container, right? In that case, let's get smashing the next watermelon. Mind if I do the honors this time? I'll help with the transplanting. Hippolytus has taken such good care of the soil here, and I want to make sure we preserve that. What are you doing, Hippolytus, baby? What are you doing, Pookie? Get back here. You each pick a task and set to work getting the watermelon situation fully under control. Not long into the operation, several trucks cut through the school lot and come to a stop in front of the grand fountain. Oh my gosh, Volstrom's here! Hey! I'm here with my harem. What surprised to hear from you? Well, what even more surprised to see Setagaya is home to roving watermelons. The passenger door to one of the trucks swings open, and out pops Volos. Not just a student of Setagaya Academy itself, but a veritable guarding prodigy. Sorry to call you out so late, but thanks for coming, Volos. All over me. You're a real lifesaver, Volos. Well, thank you for letting me see this unique specimen. I prepared some nutrient-rich soil and brought it with me. With both arms, Volos grabs as much soil from the truck as he can, quickly depositing it all around the exploding watermelons. The mines immediately begin moving. What is he doing? Is he burying exploding watermelons? Oh, do you look at that? Watermelons, just like you said. If you left now, I bet the roots will pop right out of the soul. So he's inducing their growth or something? Without exploding them? I don't even know what's happening here. It's a bit hard to visualize the situation. They move, yeah, of course. It doesn't seem like Volus is taking responsibility here. Maybe there's another loop, or maybe Volus is just being tiki. It wasn't me. Taishakton and Takeminakata carefully attempt to lift a couple of the watermelons to see if Volus' assessment is accurate. To their relief, it seems it is, as for both of them, the entire plant pulls right out without the least bit of resistance. Amazing! These things wouldn't budge just a minute ago. Why now they're practically jumping out, even without needing to shovel. Guess that soil you brought is more appealing to them than these flower beds. They're really acting more like animals than plants. Is it like they're baiting them to more amenable soil above the flower top bed? So essentially the watermelon moves up into the better soil. But because of that soil, which is also less compact, which is part of the reason that makes it better, they're able to pull it out easily, unlike in the tight, dense flower bed soil. I think. I don't know. The flower beds have great soil too, but the stuff I brought is custom made for watermelons, but especially makes fertilizer. Glad these big fellas like it. So come on, everybody. Let's get the rest of these watermelons in trucks. I do not recognize these watermelons. I have no responsibility. With an invaluable assistance of the ring area called in, helping to eliminate any threats of exploding seeding, the watermelon removal process progresses smoothly and quickly. I did not touch those watermelons. That was pretty impressive. Every one of them removed safely. Don't think there is anywhere left to run now. The circle of plants concealing Hippolytus is now gone. He puts his hands up and meets the feet. Congratulations, Sergeant. You got me. What were you even trying to do? I don't even know what you were trying to do. Please explain. He stashed some? Did he hide some of the love potion for himself? I buried one single ampoule of the compound and especially chosen the location. A location only I know, so that I can use it at a moment's notice if I so choose. It's like I said at the start of this mess, it's a way out, just in case I should ever need one. So you'd use it on yourself. Ooh, this is some scary background wind. So you'd use it on yourself. I probably will never use it, no. But it's enough to know that I can. So what will you do? Will you tell Wolf on me? Tell him what? Did he say something? Okay, so he does want it, but just for a relief of mind. He's not actually gonna use it. It's more like if he really wants to, at least he feels like he's not forced to be stuck ignorant. He can say it's a choice now. That's a decent compromise. Thank you, Arthur. That makes me very happy. Because really, I don't hate myself for being unable to love. Rather, I just want to feel like I'm on equal footing with someone else. To share a secret with them, like lovers do. It's important to have a choice here. It sucks to feel like you're forced into something that seems like an unequal situation, so at least in this way he can sort of convince himself he's only staying there because he chooses to continue that way. And so, It's finally over. Nice work, everybody. I can barely move now, though. Ugh. Though the true threat arose through a series of coincidences, there's no exaggeration to say we've thwarted a takeover plot today. Hard to believe how much energy Hippolytus had us after all that, though. I'm not used to working the arts, so I'm beat. We managed to get rid of the watermelons, but those flower beds got hit hard. Wonder if the ones I saved will be replanted. I hope there's a way to save them here, especially since it's such a popular spot at the school. It is at the front of it, and a full display. Yutai Shaken, Takeminakata, and Krampus are all sitting together on the ground, so tired they can barely think straight. They decide to make out because all you can think of is gay. You hear the sound of a pushcart getting closer to your location. See a group of transients turning towards you. Thank you all for coming, for lending your help at this, all this time despite not attending the school. And thank you for calling Volos. Through his help, we've been able to excise even the watermelons deep underground. The plot thickens. Oh, Bradley. I'm back as well, and Krampus, everyone. I'm so sorry to have defied you all at the 11th hour. Hippolytus looks at the flowers around him as he says this. These are flowers he'd helped nurture with his own 2 hands, but many have now wilted or have been uprooted. Krampus, meanwhile, has been spending hours on his hands and he's helping to bring them back, which is why Hippolytus especially calls him out by name. Did he? Oh yeah. It's alright, Hippolytus. I may not understand why you did it, but I know you were doing what you believed was right. Krampus. That may be so, but still. We all have our personal storylines, you could say. Things we're going through that other people just wouldn't get. In my case, I strive to be a stupidly person hero who gets back up no matter how many times he's knocked down. So, it's fine. That's what it really means to get to know someone, right? I learned it all about it from my ranger shows. Krampus, of course, your ranger shows. You will be held responsible for your actions, Hippolytus. But that comes later. For now, please direct your attention to these. Wolf? And ABC club members. Aren't these the same seedlings as those from the flower beds? You had a stockpile of the spare soil and seeds tucked away, then just for such an equation. That is some far-reaching thinking. How do you do this? Don't tell me it was the ABC club. After subduing the watermelons on the ground, we were involved that the flower beds at the Grand Fountain were under attack. We knew how long it would take to restore them, so we quickly brainstormed what we could do to help mitigate the damage. We were responsible for formulating the compound that caused the problems in the first place, after all. So finding some way of helping with recovery after the dust settled was the least we could do. And since the school is in charge of seeding these beds, we had Wolf set aside a whole bunch for us. He tested the waters by planting in a few pots, and as you can see, they're growing in quite nicely already. I oversaw their growth myself, and even I, the werewolf foremost authority on fertilizer, came away thoroughly impressed. The ABC members were ready to address your incredulity before even Wolf, delivering an impassioned, prideful account. You can't help but notice how much more alive and animated they are in their words and mannerisms than when they were acting against you. Also, I know that we cannot be so easily forgive Valen for our actions of late. But we are at least hoping that you can accept these seedlings as a token of atonement from us. And of course, we members will all work tirelessly to ensure these seedlings are transplanted into the flower beds here. Hippolytus, that's where you come in. Your power is vital here. It can only be you, by decree of my Laird and Heron even. Honestly, you're all just too much. You leave me little choice though. I guess I'll get to work. Thank you, everyone. Now, what are we waiting for? Unleash some of those seedlings, and let's get started. Finally, I'm feeling energized again. Let's see if we can't get these flower beds back to their former glory by morning. Just one final push, huh? Oh, let's go. Oh, starting right now? Is there a limit to your stamina? My apologies. I reverted to my usual horticulture club pace, but that's sparing a thought for the rest of you. You should all return to the dorm and rest. We'll handle the replanting. Part of me wants to do just that, but a bigger part of me wants to see this through to the end. Takeminakata. This is no more than preparing for Christmas. I'm confident I can pull myself through. Well, said Carapace. I ain't planning on turning tail before the job's finished either. I can't believe how pathetic Arthur's on wanting to take a break. I suppose I can manage one last spurt as well. Ultimately, I am of the same mind as the others here. Aren't you too, Arthur? Sure. I want to keep going too. So, let's get this show on the road, as they say. Thank you all for sticking with me till the bitter end. Though this open campus event in winter is centered around love, it experienced a significant disturbance from those who sought to attain love by any means possible. Now that are firmly resolved, the many viewpoints from all sides of it began to intermingle. Where this road will lead in the end can only be dreamed of. Is the ampoule of love potion supposed to be like an allegory or metaphor for like HRT or something? By the time morning breaks, the flower beds around the grand fountains are so perfectly restored that one would almost never know anything had even happened to them. And in the daylight, participants of the Sitagai Valentine's event once again gather around to express their love. Final episode, where 6 seasons blossom. By the way, these titles of the episodes are completely nonsense because they're just really they just have the number of the episode and that's why they call them that. Valentine's Crossroads. Proceed to Epilogue. So we will indeed proceed to the epilogue in a bit, but before that, let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break. I will see you guys in 5 minutes. Take care, everyone, and continue voting if you haven't already.
Alright, we're back. So we're gonna finish the epilogue as well as do 2 special quests, Hippolytus as well as the winner of the poll. Let's do this. Valentine's Crossroads re-release. Epilogue. Hello, everybody. Can you believe this is to be the very last Setagai Valentine's flower arranging workshop? I want to thank everyone who's attended these seminars, whether this is your very first or you've been to every one. I'm going to give my all today as well, so be sure to do the same and enjoy making your masterpieces. Leave with no regrets. It's now several days after the plot to take over Setagai Valentine's was sorted. Hippolytus' workshop seminars have been a big hit each time since, and are now finally coming to a successful close. Excellent work, everyone. So, you got real quiet. Nothing else has gone wrong, I hope. This is an emotional moment, isn't it? My, you're considerate. But then, we've spent so much time together. It stands to reason you'd be able to read me by now. Regardless of this, I sought to expand my horizons. I know I caused no end of trouble for the school and students. I can't help but feel particularly guilty about abandoning the flowers and at the grand fountain after witnessing a illicit breeding with those melons. It's kind of cute here. Shake them titties for me. Let's go. There you go, rambling again. If there's one thing that ain't a change that yet since we met, Hippolytus, that'd be it. As far as I'm concerned, it's all water under the bridge. Seems like the only person you gotta settle it with it is yourself. The school's already issued its judgment on you, right? And it's all taken care of. No sense jumping in a done match. Some fights may seem silly when you're looking at them from the outside of the ring, but they're fights nonetheless, and should be seen through. That's what makes the fight fair. You got the experimental farm, was it? Over there, troublemaker. Somehow, that made me feel very small for a moment, Darrison. Truly a low blow, given how much of a troublemaker he is known to be at other schools. Though, what are you saying, Lassonray? Though you may not have been aware. Well, at the end of the day, one thing's for sure. Setagai Valentine's has been quite an eventful day. I guess you got to experience more of it than anyone else here. But if I tried to recount it, I don't even know where I'd begin. Yeah, it's been something, alright. As much variety from day to day as there is in the Setagai County's packed lunches. Oh yeah, I'm gonna miss those. I say as if I've eaten them myself. I'm sure I had fun here. Well, I'd love to see a follow-up series of workshops held in the old shopping district sometime. My horizons too have been expanded beyond anything I could ever glean by poring over books alone. Thank you, Hippolytus. I had lots of fun too. Went by and look him in the eye. The long journey is finally at an end. I imagine you must be tired after everything that happened. You should return to Shinjuku for some well-deserved rest. Or, since Setagai Valentine's is still going on, workshops or no, you're all welcome to continue enjoying it as our guests. Sorry, Love's calling. Hold on a moment, please. I need to take this. Hippolytus here. Yes. Yes? Oh! Thank you so much. What? Until the very last day? Are you sure? Oh, wow. Well, I'll let them know right now. Hippolytus is visibly surprised as he disconnects the call, seemingly both by the message of the lovers to him and by the fact that he's called in the first place. So, Wolf has a message for all of you. First, he wanted to thank you again for helping us out so much. And he also wanted me to tell you that your rooms at the dorm are yours until open campus ends, if you want them. Oh, wow! What a deal! So we can just chill there whenever we want. Is this where the special quests happen? Wonder how it can go. Any others are doing since Shamash got hired as a tutor. Ooh, that's true. I mean, they're probably doing fine. He seems to be a top dollar tutor for some whatever reason. So you can go back to your own schools anytime you'd like. But you're also welcome to stay here for the rest of the event. I think this is Zo's way of showing gratitude, since his admin work keeps him from being here to thank you again in person. He's not allowed to have too much screen time after all. He's not actually a variant. You've all been so hospitable. Wolf truly has shown his noble roots. Ugh, can't I just love you already? Side your tits. Oh, you're such a kidder. Has life at Senegai Academy really won you over that much, Ayrton? Oh, you're being serious. Better be careful though. If you become a resident inside my tits rather than just visitor, you'll soon find yourself on a farm work rotation. I'll be rotating those tits. Well, regardless of what we'll be doing from tomorrow onward, besides rotating your tits, you still need to pack up and clean out the workshop room, though. It's only fitting we at least help you with that. I dare say it wouldn't sit right with any of us were not to. I second that motion. Wouldn't feel we had unfinished business if you were left without cleaning up after ourselves. Sounds good to me too. Let's get things cleaned up here, then set up fireworks or something back at the dorm. Oh, that's a great idea, Taishakutan. Come on, everybody. Let's get this place so you can so clean you can eat off the floor. English, please. Who's winning this vote? Krampus? Are you kidding me? Oh my god, 0 votes for Taishakutan. I mean, that's the least surprising thing, but tie with Takeminakata. No, let's see if there's a tiebreaker by the end of this. Mine now riddle with questions like, where are the desks supposed to go? When should you clean that floor? Or what food and beverage should you get for everyone? The six of you talk and laugh as you get the room back in order, occasionally letting any and all topics get away from you as you just keep on cleaning and chatting away. Once the task is done and the room is all locked up, you help out taking the various materials used during the course back to Horticulture Club storehouse. And before you return to the dorm, Hippolytus is able to use his connections with the home ecot department to stop by and gather some ingredients for the meal to come. Once back at the dorm, he takes these ingredients into the kitchen and prepares the last meal for you as a group, making you feel all closer than ever as you break bread together. Knowing that you'll also be going your separate ways, you stay up into the wee hours of the morning, enjoying each other's companies to the fullest inside the same bed, before heading off to sleep inside each other. Any content. The next morning, you wake up a bit early, head into the dorm's cafeteria, and begin piling food onto your tray for breakfast when you see him. Free food, my favorite. Hey, Masanori. You all are an early riser, huh? Good morning to you as well. Won't be able to greet you like this for much longer, will I? It feels as though I've been waiting every day for you to wake up and join me here in this cafeteria. It's a lonesome feeling. Do you remember when I pointed out a bird to you in trees? It's in the same spot again today. And it's not alone. Masanori pulls out the chair beside him. This is the same chair he'd been sitting in before. You set your tray down on the table and take the seat you've been offered. Directing your gaze out the window, you see two baby birds perched next to one another at the very edge of a high tree branch. As you eat, the two of you discuss your recent shared experiences as assistants to Hippolytus, among many other things. Although you initially reminisce about the seminars themselves, the topic slowly begins shifting towards the plot to take over Setagai's Valentines. I certainly never thought I'd be doing espionage work like that again, but my public safety bureau days so far behind me. It's almost ironic. I suppose the leopard cannot so easily change its spots after all. But in the end, that's nothing more than an excuse. In truth, I chose to undertake this operation myself. I reflected at length upon what I could do to aid my friends in need, and you in particular. You weighed heavy on my mind. Do you remember the words we spoke upon the bench in the courtyard in the early evening? You better remember, because your choices mattered back then. You just finished eating by this point. Masanori reaches into his bag and carefully removes something big from it. Your words alone are what would come to rend the fog of doubt and uncertainty that plagued my mind, revealing a path ahead for me. So, as a token of the appreciation I feel toward you more than anyone, I would like you to have this flower now. You're surprised? Oh, come now. I served as assistant to Hippolytus, the same as you, and thus had a front row seat to his tutelage. If you pick the other options, you'll get fuck all for nothing.
And once the takeover plot was thwarted, I also had the time to request additional private instruction from him after class. I thought it'd make status, or sea lavender, the centerpiece of the arrangement. I hope it's to your liking.
Flower arrangement, huh? That was like kind of pretty. But you just like let it rot in there? I don't know what you're supposed to do with flowers. Maybe it's because I'm just a guy. I don't really get flowers. I mean, not to say it's only for girls since it's guys giving each other flowers, but like they're pretty. I don't know. Put it on the table inside my castle as they turn into a beast. With who's my beauty?
Being with you serves to affirm the memories I hold of my partner. I can only hope the bonds remain ever unchanging.
As for my thoughts for this Valentine's event, if it's my favorite or not, I'll give it at the end.
I wish to always hold that unwavering conviction with me, just as Naginu always had.
Is that the name of his lover, his ex?
Or, his deceased rather? Hey, I don't wish it. I will it.
Inaginu, huh?
Thank you, Masanori. Thank you, and may good health and fortune be with you, even well after the curtain falls on this event. By the by, do you have any plans later? I thought I might take this chance to enjoy a newfound peace and tranquility. If you happen to cross my path while touring the school grounds to partake in festivities, please do feel free to join me.
Who next? Your breakfast was now finished. You return to your dorm for a bit to prepare for the rest of your day. Okay, so this is what's affecting the epilogue. As you weigh your options on how to spend your time, you hear a knock at the door. Is this Taishakin?
Hey, I'm here to break your ass, finally.
Hey, Taishakin, what's up? Like a neighborhood dropping by.
Hey, how about intruding? I really got something to talk about with you, actually. Mind if I come in? It's on you. Just heard some real good news. You've been officially selected by the gang back home as our new head of public relations. After our chat last time, I thought about it some more, and the next day I contact my crew and talk it over with them. But you got the landowners in on too, and, well, one thing led to another, and you got picked.
Official head of public relations? That's a very important sounding title. Sure now things get things done.
Yeah, but don't misunderstand or nothing. This is the first time we ever really had any kind of public relations position. In fact, the public relations department's only got one person in it. You. So that's why you're the head. It'll be easier at quite a lot. Anyway, the good news don't stop there. I made the thing I was going for. A new test product. Ready to go. It's a flower box arranged by yours truly. We call it the Passion of Shibamata.
I see. So what they learned from Hippolytus, they just copy and paste it. They adapted it. There's no other options for sitting aside from your desk chair. Taishakin seats himself onto your bed. Produces a small item from inside a paper bag he brought with him. Is this him sitting on our bed?
That's not the only thing I can sit on. Shibamata Park is full of the prettiest flowers you ever see around this time of year. So I chose to center it around azaleas.
Interesting. It's kind of cute in that tiny box. That is a nice arrangement. The other one's like Beauty and the Beast-esque, while this one's more like a reminiscent of a box of chocolates.
And I based it on stuff I learned from workshops. Still just in test market, but I want you to have one. Here. I'm ready, you know. I feel like I can do anything, so long as you're in a three-legged race. I'm in a three-legged race with you, Arthur. That's not the only thing they call 3 legs. The position's waiting for you to fill it, and we even got a place for you to sleep. All that's left is for you to accept, and to fill it after you sleep with me. Well, and for you to clear with the summers. What? Why do you look all red in the face all of a sudden? Huh? Am I proposing to you? The hell gave you that idea? Don't be an idiot. There's an order to things like this. You gotta date someone first. Oh, wait, that's not it. Look at what you made me say. Damn it, now I'm all red in the face. I can't do this right now. I'll come back another day, so make sure you pencil me in.
Okay, well, even he has his weaknesses apparently. Stunned and speechless, You can only watch in silence as Taishakunin hurriedly exits the room, face red as beet. Like a bolt of lightning, Taishakunin always strikes hard and fast, then leaves as quickly as he came, shocking all those he touches, and comes inside. Still reeling from his visit, you decide to get changed and head out of the dorm, hoping to claim your nerves with a stroll around campus. The open campus event is still in progress after all, so your destination is of course the main thoroughfare of Setai Academy. Does he know what he just said? Doesn't seem like... It seems like Taishakunin's a bit of a dummy when it comes to love. But, you know, not in such an oafish way. More like he just doesn't think about it, per se. Like, if someone brings it up, he'll say he doesn't really know much about it, but he's not the one who gets flustered about it, unless you're kind of pushing it on him like that. Your path takes you around the school building beyond the Grand Fountain Plaza, the space where green grass begins to fill your vision. Out of the blue, and picked out from amid the din of the crowd, you finally catch a familiar voice in the air, though you can't immediately find its source when looking around. Hey, there he is. And there he goes. Walking a bit farther now, however, you finally see him. Takeminakata, grappling with another in the middle of the field, surrounded by student spectators. Arthur, you come to try me in sumo too? You're sumo wrestling here? I don't really get what's going on. Wait. Hey, these people, aren't they the servants to the ABC club? None of the sports club members spectating the match seemed extremely familiar to you. As you look at them, many of them bowed their heads respectfully. Hey, Arthur! Been a while, huh? Very well. Thank you for your guidance, Takeminakata. No problem. See you around. If you ever find yourself in Roppongi, be sure to look me up. Takeminakata collects his belongings from one of the other club members. He'd seemingly delegated to watch over them, then cheerily waves goodbye to the crowd of onlookers. Once they're gone, he sits out in the grass, cross-legged, appearing a bit worn from his practice. I worked up quite a sweat. Oh, I guess you're confused, huh? I didn't really plan on practicing super out here, you see? It's just those were some of the younglings who worked for the ABC gang, and they were really impressed by us when we beat them. They really wanted to train with me, so I taught them the basics. And while we were at it, I figured we could go around or two. Hey, you seem popular now. You're absolutely dripping. You want them to join your sumo club? Takeminakata smiles widely for a time, not saying anything further. Eventually, he seems to find his words again. I've gotta say, my time here at Setai Academy has been really great. I've gained so much I could only have dreamed of before. And speaking of gains, I've got something for you, Arthur. What do you think? Pretty awesome, huh? I put everything I learned from the workshop into it. I really like chrysanthemums, and Hippolytus said they suit me well, so I made sure to use a whole bunch of varieties of them. Chrysanthemums are the ones with the many petals, right? I guess there's a few roses plucked in there too, but most of them are chrysanthemums. That's very nice, but it is like a traditional bouquet with a wrap around it. But I guess the theming of flowers is more important here in terms of being very showy, just like a city boy would be. I feel so fortunate to have run into you here. Even if it was just pure coincidence, it feels like a lot more than that to me. And we talked during my post-dinner. Your words really helped me clear the skies over my cloudy heart. But I want to do the same for you. Next time you're feeling down, I want to be your pillar of support. I want to be the one who gets you to like... oh my god, English. I want to be the one who gets you like nobody everyone else has. And I want you to get to know a whole lot more about me too. If we could have a relationship like that, then I feel like there's literally nothing we couldn't achieve. Of course, I'm not gonna ask you to make a commitment like that right here and now. But, you know, think about it from the stands, okay? Aww. That's a nice way to be, I guess, to ask someone out without fully being committal in a shy way. It's kinda cute. With that, Takeminakata takes a big stretch, then shoots up to his feet. He notices as he does that, so that his cheeks are red as can be. I'm gonna run a few laps or something. I'm not used to any of this. I just kinda wanna feel the wind in my face. See you around, and we can enjoy some of the Setagai and Valentine's festivities together another day. 2 more wrestle running? Dang. You see Takeminakata off and realize the wind's gotten noticeably cooler since your conversation with him began. You'll like to go indoors to avoid the chill. As you're examining the exhibits within the school halls, a message comes in on your phone. From Krampus this time, it reads, "Where are you right now? I'd like to talk to you in person." You follow the directions in Krampus' text, which instruct you to head up to the roof of one particular school building. Setagai Academy's campus is full of tall buildings, but the one you're headed to is the tallest of them all, that's still accessible to the student body. You open the door leading out onto the roof deck and look around, but see neither hide nor hair of Krampus or anyone else. Descend! Krampus' voice echoes from somewhere above you. You look up and can faintly make out a figure standing on top of the water tower that looms above you. That's very clearly him. He's holding a bouquet of flowers in one hand, or brandishing it like a weapon, and he proceeds to rattle off what can only be described as a well-rehearsed monologue. Perhaps it is love, perhaps it is not, but I know in my heart of hearts that I care deeply for you, Earthen. My own past is hazy, just beyond the reaches of my memory, but I can clearly recall every detail of the day you encouraged me. You are my hero, and what I seek now is to become your hero as well. Krampus, having quite literally shouted his feelings for you from the rooftops, leaps into the air with incredible vigor. He performs a full 360-degree spin in midair, ending with a quick change of pose into what looks like a classic Ranger dropkick, as he rapidly plummets towards you to a 69. Hooah! Accept my feelings for you! He lands directly in front of you and instantly takes to his knees, arms outstretched, offering his bouquet. Was that too much? No, that was a perfect landing. Perfect 10 landing. I heard that when people are uncertain about something they know is important, they're told to just take the plunge. And since this was something really important to me, I figured I'd take a plunge from the highest point I could find. Huh? That's a figure of speech. I mean, stop worrying and just act. You're not supposed to literally jump. Oh, I thought it was a local custom from this world or something. That's kind of embarrassing. Suddenly feeling silly for having made a death-defying jump from a water tower over a misunderstood figure of speech, Krampus turns red from ear to ear. I didn't even get a chance to see his bouquet. They didn't describe it. He remains like this for so long that the sun begins to set around you before another word is spoken. Are you kidding me? Once it finally seems like he's calmed his nerves a bit, you inquire a little more gently as to the intent behind the bouquet he's presented to you. Oh, there it is. Well, with the workshop's over, I thought I might try to arrange some flowers for you myself from scratch. After all, I haven't really made my feelings for you known to you up until now. I think everyone knows what your feelings for me are, Krampus, but okay. So I decided to gather some peonies, some baby's breath, and some Christmas roses together and make a nice arrangement. What do you think? It's yours if you like it. Nothing would please me more. I don't know what the meaning of flowers. I'm not a master of florology or whatever the name is don't understand the meaning behind flowers. Anyone know? It's okay. Takeminakata's is better. It's okay. Thank you. I was waiting for this. One of your masterpieces just for me? A bouquet is such a bold statement. Sorry, but I don't just want to give you the bouquet. I also want to try to put my feelings for you into words. As soon as you take the flowers from him, Krampus takes both of your hands in his. I haven't ever had the courage to say this before. I always felt like there had to be someone out there far better for you than me. But I can't run from these feelings any longer. I want to take our friendship to the next level. If it's alright with you, will you let me spend more time with you? Just the two of us. Don't answer yet. I don't have the heart to deal with your answer right now. Tell me next time. I'll make sure I'm ready by then. Hey, see my special quest. If the votes are in it. Speaking of votes. Guys, Krampus and Takeminakata are so tied. I am only picking one, just letting you know. His grand entrance and the passing of the bouquet complete, Krampus flowers a bit as his plans didn't seem to cover anything beyond those initial steps. His face takes on its usual charmingly awkward countenance, and the two of you leave the rooftop behind. As you descend back down to the ground floor with him, however, you can see a smile forming on his face, which he proudly continues wearing as he says his goodbyes and exits the scene. Behind him, you see countless others heading for the school gate as the sunset descends upon Setegai Academy. You turn the other way, however, and proceed farther into the school grounds. Your walk takes you to the horticulture club room, but you enter after knocking on the door and confirming response from a familiar, warm voice within. Hippolytus. Well, if it isn't Harrison, what brings you here? Hey, I came here to see you. What? You don't have to come all this way. If you'd called to let me know, I would have gladly gone to meet you instead. There aren't any festivities going on in here or anything like that, but I appreciate you coming nonetheless. Since you're here, shall we go for a walk outside? I can walk you back to the dorm. You agree, and the two of you leave the club room, with Hippolytus making sure to lock up behind him. Talking flowers related to Japan nobility. Interesting. You then proceed to go back the way you came, leisurely enjoying the walk back towards the school gates together. If you mean the chrysanthemum, I guess that makes sense for Takeminakata is supposed to be a ruler. As you walk, you make small talk about this and that, and it's during one such conversation that occurs to you to bring up something that's been on your mind. Mentioned the dream scenario before? Something you really want to do, involving the ABC club, I believe. Oh, now that you mention it, I've been so busy running around like a headless chicken that I haven't had a chance to discuss it. Tell me, do you know of the secret garden in the school, Arthur? Actually, you don't go here, so there's not much chance you do, is there? As the name implies, its exact location is a secret, but it's one of the many tended gardens in the school takes pride in. And I've been put in charge of it, separate from my horticultural club duties. Though the overall tone of Hippolytus' voice is common even as ever, it's considerably quieter than usual, and he leans in close when saying this. If they're gonna show us the Valentine time warp background, I'm gonna lose it. Suggesting it is, in fact, an actual secret. It was created as a getaway spot for famous or influential people to relax in a natural setting, away from prying eyes. But it's mostly just the stuff of rumors among the students here, as they have no idea whether or not it even truly exists. And it's my vision, my dream, to create something that goes beyond even that. Where all flowers can thrive, regardless of origin or standing. A pleasure garden where no one need fight over their beliefs. Worlds that know love, or don't even understand it, all honored equally. That's my dream scenario. You see, he wants to be a part of the world. He doesn't necessarily want everyone to also not understand what love is, or reject love entirely. But he just wants to be, a piece in a world that fits alongside the world that is full of love. And full of people that don't have love too. So I get that feeling. To be left like a piece that doesn't fit in the puzzle, but wanting to be part of it. It does sound wonderful. I want to help you realize that dream. So support you however I can. Thank you for the words of encouragement. They mean more to me than you can know. Past the courtyard and en route to the main gate, Hippolytus suddenly stops dead in his tracks. He calls out your name, then gently and delicately takes both of your hands in his. I think you're the only person in all of Tokyo right now whose hands I can hold like this without feeling uneasy. Can't even describe how happy I am to have forged such a solid bond with you. I was always so bad at this back home. But this moment in time is precious to me. Joyous. More than anything else in the world, even more than love. Hippolytus lets go of your hand before continuing. It's more like a feeling of, I guess, fitting in. Feeling of belonging, I guess, is what he's appreciating. Which makes it especially hard to say that until after such a guy as Valentine's, I don't think I'll be able to see you again. What? I've been busy doing whatever I can to atone for my actions. Not just working the experimental farms, but many other things too. But I won't say goodbye. The bonds we forged are much too tight, and I won't see them severed so cavalierly. And so, as a symbol of those bonds, as a symbol of the trust and respect I have for you, I'd like to give you something. Hippolytus reaches into one of the many bags he has with him, a paper bag that you notice he was being particularly gentle with, pulls something out. It's a flower crown made entirely from flowers given to him by all his friends, beautifully interwoven together just for you. I didn't use my sacred artifact for this one, so it doesn't have any special powers or anything. Instead, I made a point of preserving all the flowers I used so that it'll last a long, long time. Hippolytus gently smiles as he places the crown on your head. King Lear moment. Is that his name? I'm pretty sure it's King Lear. Take care, Ethan. Will we meet again? No! Hippolytus, no! Where are you going? Where are you going, Hippolytus? You too. Till we meet again. Oh, it fills me with such joy to imagine that day. But I'll have to be patient. Until then. You'd still do all those mobs. I date these moves. I'll be waiting for you here at Setsugai Academy, with flowers in full bloom, for whenever we can next meet. A gentle breeze blows from the west, as if the school itself is seeing you and Hippolytus off for the last leg of your walk back to the dorm. When the sun rises next upon the fields, it's herald to all the living things that dwell within the land, the start of spring, the season of meetings as well as partings. On those who fall in love, cross paths with those who fall out of love, and new stories are constantly being born. Valentine's Crossroads! End. But is it really the end? We are going to be seeing some special quests, and it seems Takeminakata has just barely won the vote. So we'll be doing that after we do Hippolytus's, which I actually didn't even unlock him last year, so we can do it right now, immediately. As you can see, I also don't have some of the F characters. I don't know that reprint. Back in my Olympus days, I was often teased for my chastity. I guess you call it. All around me were people who constantly told me that love is the best feeling ever, and asked me how I could possibly deny it. They got pretty mean about it too, asking me how many cubits till I gave in, or demanding I prove my purity to them. Brother Barwiki? I have no idea, I cannot answer that for you. But whenever anyone gets too annoying about it, I'd respond with pancreation, with fighting, and that's to be the end of it. The fuck is pancreation? Pancreate your ass. But Tokyo is a different story. It's a melting pot of people from anywhere you can dream of. This is Gorpagoro and this is Ahura Mazda. I'm not sure what the relation is with them. I've been attending all sorts of wild gatherings, and I haven't felt nearly as alone as I once did. There are people I can relate to here, discussing topics that fascinate me. Topics like, what is the self? I guess with Gorpagoro, you might relate to him in the sense of purity. It's not the exact same sense of purity, like he wants like chastity and, you know, rejection of love. Gorpagoro is more about rejection of corruption from adulthood. Ahura Mazda's deal is more about like pure justice, good versus pure evil. I guess in that sense, it's just like he is into that sort of moralness when it comes to at least the not doing NTR. I don't know. That's not to say there's no culture shock, because believe me, there very much is. Sometimes feel like I just can't shake my Olympian roots no matter what I do, if only by virtue of my different philosophy on love. But the fact is, just like back home, I've never met anyone here who fully shares my vision. I've never met anyone else like me. Of course, I'm not even sure what the true me really is, so it only stands to reason I wouldn't be able to find others of perfect like mind. Whenever the topic of love comes up in discussions with someone else though, there's just always something or another that doesn't quite sit right with me. Yet during this event, when I faced off against you at the very end, Arthur, I feel like something clicked in me that's never quite clicked before. Just a bit, though, mind you. With my own hand-woven grass crowns all around, I had a distinct advantage. You should have been easy to deal with. Yet you saw through my plans completely. Somehow you gained the upper hand on me before I knew it. But you didn't play that hand. You let me slip by, and so... did the same for you. We each allowed the other to hang on to something dear of ours, and in doing so, we turned a blind eye to one another's weaknesses. It wasn't an act of love per se, no crime of passion, but in that moment, you became very dear to me nonetheless. With the event now truly over, things have begun returning to normal on the Setagaya Academy campus. Hippolytus, waiting patiently at the school's main gate, finally catches a glimpse of the person he's been waiting for. Hey, Hippolytus! Ah, long time no see, where you been? Welcome back to Setagaya Academy, Arthur. Sorry I couldn't give a proper tour while the festivities were underway. There's just a mountain of things to do. I know literally since I was researching the flora from other worlds brought back by the Mountaineering Club. Every specimen... Oh, Mountaineering Club reference. So that's a reference to the top of some mountains which came out after this event. Since the guy really expanded in 2024, huh? Every specimen was just as spectacular as the one before. I can't wait to see what the Horticultural Club can grow from it all. Oh, I just realized I've been so involved with all this, I came to greet you in my work clothes. Sorry about that. Hey, no worries, I look good on you. Oh. Well, thank you. It makes me feel a lot better hearing that from you, actually. This is my everyday wear, really. On account of the fact that I spend so much time tending flowers all around campus. This is actually a fact. I do prefer his skin for this. I think I actually have the skin on him right now. Though I am on rotation for those duties with other club members and students, so it's not like I get no breaks, of course. On that note, though, he came here to observe my horticultural club activities, or at least study some gardening techniques, no? I'm thrilled to have an audience. I'll be sure to go over how to grow each and every potted plant we've got just for you. So, let's head for the club room, shall we? I finished up all the work that needed doing outside. Aw. You follow an overly excited Hippolytus to the Horticultural Club room. Ah. You ready, Arthur? Let's get in there, shall we? Goodness, that's just perfect. Couldn't be a better fit. There's one thing that I can't relate to Hippolytus with, though. As much as I understand Hippolytus' plight, there's one thing that would make me say we probably wouldn't get along in real life, and that's I kind of actually horrifically suck with taking care of plants. I've got a red thumb, if you will. Best to just set aside the overalls you brought with you today, though do make sure not to misplace them. They're rather high-end, fittingly so for being from the chairman. Dirtying them through gardening would almost be a faux pas. When planting, it's all about the soil. Air and water should be able to flow through it, but water retention is just as crucial. There are a lot of factors to account for, but for the most part, if it's fluffy and nutrient-rich, you're on the right track. Of course, different flora has different needs, and the environment is a huge factor too when planting in the ground. As Hippolytus tends to the plants in the greenhouses, he goes into great detail with you about proper gardening techniques. This would actually be informative to me. He's very much in his element, really enjoying every moment as he regales you with tips, tricks, and anecdotes that show just how passionate he is about horticulture. Finally... Whew. And that should do about it. That should just about do it. How you're still hanging in there? Let's take a break, shall we? After changing back out of your overalls, you follow Hippolytus onto the main school grounds. He takes you not to the cafeteria you've grown accustomed to, but rather an on-campus cafe boasting a garden terrace for visitors to enjoy. I actually got my hands on something pretty cool today from a Shalotl over Pongi Academy. Check it out. Hippolytus sets out 2 cups on the table in front of him. That she'd somehow already filled without your knowledge. I gave him a few different herbs to go and see, and he returned the favor with this cordial he made for them. Shalatala. Interesting. Cordial, not just herb tea? Correct. The difference is, with a cordial, you soak herbs or fruit or some such thing in a syrup. You then steep it in soda or hot water to unlock its flavors. For today's drink, I went with hot water. As you sip your award cordial, Hippolytus watches you intently and smiles. Ah. He's really enjoying us. He might not know what love is, but he's like, superficially, he's getting the whole, extremely appreciating someone's presence. Thank you for today. I'm really happy you've taken such a vested interest in the things I'm passionate about. Next time, I'd love to learn all about the things you're interested in too. Good or bad. Right. I actually have something I wanted to give you, Arthur. Hippolytus produces a small gift box and places it on the table in front of you. I'm a little late, but I hope you'll accept these Valentine's chocolates from me nonetheless. Chocolates from Hippolytus? Thank you so much. Of course I accept. But here, have some for me as well. Without missing a beat, you take out a small gift box of your own that you've been waiting to give to Hippolytus when the time is right, and set it down right next to his. I guess this makes it a full-on gift exchange. Impressive. Thank you. I know it's common for even friends to exchange Valentines, but there's still a real sense of intimacy to it, don't you think? That's why I've always refrained from giving anyone gifts at this time of year. True, Theo's been terrified of misunderstandings all this time. Hippolytus carefully, most lovingly places your gift box in his bag as he says this. Almost lovingly. Aw. That's as close to loving as you can get. I feel like meeting you all and experiencing so much over a set of guys' Valentines has changed something inside of me. I've always had competitive tendencies towards others, but after everything that's happened recently, that's begun to cool a bit. It's like I finally connected two ends of something and completed the circle, you might say. Oh, if you wanted to try pancreationally, I'm not about to say no. Feel free to challenge me at any time, day or night. Hippolytus snickers a bit at this, but then his expression takes it on a mercious note. Still, there's one thing that hasn't changed. There's still nobody else out there who's on quite the same page as me, and that fact still leaves me feeling kind of lonely. Even when I meet someone who emphasizes with me, they're not going through the same thing I am, so they can't fully relate. I always try to be kind and considerate to my juniors at school, and to the attendees of my workshops. But I can't give them any love nor love advice. Quite literally incapable, since I don't even understand it. As a result, I don't even really have the basis of comparison for it. Yet love weighs so heavily on so many people's minds. And I swear, whenever I put it into words like this, it always just sounds like I'm asking for too much. Well, it's a conundrum for sure. And if you are, is that a bad thing? But I totally get where you're coming from. Right? It's such a balancing act. But knowing that you feel the same way makes you kind of like my, well, never mind. Much as seasons don't suddenly change, but slowly come into being bit by bit and day by day, so too is your relationship with Hippolytus, slowly but surely entering a new phase as you talk. Aww, taking advantage of the sudden lull in conversation, to decide to pose a question to him that's been on your mind for some time now. So, about that compound. The ultimate love potion. I don't think I can bring myself to use it realistically. For one thing, I'm not exactly seeking to change my lovelessness. But even aside from that, the effects of the compound feel like playing God in a way. They intrude upon one's free will. Any reaction it triggered would surely have an equal and opposite reaction. And my guildmates all seem to agree on that. Have you ever heard of Asclepius's god medicine? If not, you're probably better off not knowing, to be honest. I feel like one of the things I read about Hippolytus was related to Asclepius, but I'm forgetting what. Honestly, I feel bad discussing serious topics like this with you, when we should just be taking it easy. In fact, would you mind accompanying me somewhere else? I don't necessarily make up for me killing the mood, but I'd like to show you something, Arthur. mean, we were the one who brought up the topic, so if you're saying it ruined the mood, I'm sorry about that. At his urging, you head to Tokyo proper with Hippolytus. After many twists and turns through unfamiliar streets, you find yourself completely turned around and having no idea where you are anymore. Turn around for me just like that, Earthen. Finally, Hippolytus stops by a gentle sloping hill covered in colorful flowers as far as the eye can see. Neither park nor forest, it's just a naturally beautiful hillside. Oh, he was the guy who brought Hippolytus back to life. Right. I mean, in this main story, Hippolytus, he was never brought back to life, but like in some side story, he was. Good point. What a gorgeous spot. The sun is so warm here. Wait, is this? Hold on. I see. So he didn't actually die. Maybe he was revived at some point, and then he was sent to Tokyo. But Hippolytus seems to be at least aware about, being revived at that point. The secret garden I mentioned. It's on route to it, at least. What? Really? Didn't we go all around Tokyo? Are you saying that your secret garden is so distant from Setagaya you have to travel this far? I guess that might make sense if it's connected to the mountaineering club when it goes adventuring. The secret garden I mentioned? It's en route to it, at least. I can't very well just let you into the garden itself, though. I may be in charge of tending it, but there are multiple layers of permission required to actually make use of it. Still, even this spot is breathtaking, don't you think? In fact, if push comes to shove, I may prefer it here. I'm neither all-powerful nor all-knowing, but that suits me just fine. What I lack is a part of who I am. Aw, that's a nice way of putting it. It's hard to swallow, though, and couldn't doubt it, but at least having someone to talk to about it can at least make you feel a bit more confident that it's fine, it's not some abnormal thing, and, you don't have to hate yourself for it. Hippolytus follows his statement by kicking off his shoes and darting into the fields of flowers. He simply finds just the right spot and drops to the ground, lying down on grass. This was a bit too cold to nap here, I think. Can't wait for it to start getting warmer out. Aren't your clothes getting hot? Wish we had a blanket or something. Room for one more? Be my guest. There's just something so calming and freeing about lying in the dirt, don't you think? Hey, don't tell anyone about this, but the secret garden gets even more sunlight still. The problem is, it's so comfortable that a certain friend of mine has become a little too open when spending time there. Was there anyone from Setagaya that goes a bit nude? Can't remember. I feel like there's at least one character in Housamo that prefers going nude. I feel like we actually did a playthrough of it last time too. In New Year's Dragons. I'm just trying to remember it. I don't know. I'm trying to remember this. I got this. I certainly can't blame them for thoroughly enjoying such a spot, however, and so there's not much I can say about it. There's definitely someone. I literally just played a special quest in my own time. It came side by side with this one. I'm gonna get so mad at this. Anyways, if you're unsure who it is, there's at least one person within the same Valentine Crossroads quest, not one of the feature characters, but one of the, the rest of the characters that were released throughout the year, that actually went here. Supposedly, like, it's Ahuramaza. It's Ahuramaza. There you go. Ahuramaza apparently likes sunbathing a lot, so he would like to do it at his own place, but he gets scolded, even though he doesn't feel any guilt or thing about it, but out of propriety for what others want, he does it over here instead. Interesting. You and Hippolytus back in the sun together, cheerily chatting away about all manner of things, from anecdotes about your school lives and to reviews of the open campus event. To horror stories, we've even heard about how strict and merciless the tutors who've been coaching the summoners in your absence has been. Strict and merciless. Ooh, that's fun. So that's what Shmash is like. And Shield paid top dollar for it. Hippolytus listens closely to your accounts, and when there's a break in the conversation, suddenly proposes something to you. Hey, how about we pick some of the flowers from this hillside and make each other flower crowns out of them? That's one of the precious few fond memories I have from back home, and I'd like to experience it again with you here in Tokyo. So this isn't related to his original myth, but supposedly his cult of Hippolytus made crowns of flowers from each other, if I remember correctly. I'm not well sourced in this, by the way. I'm just like, this is all Wikipedia stuff, but it said something like he had a cult, and people who vowed to purity before they were married would make the flower crowns, if I'm remembering correctly. Oh, like friendship bracelets, cool. Let's make the fanciest ones you can. I've never made a flower crown though. The two of you began walking the hillside and gathering all the best flowers you could find. You then sat on the ground across from one another and began knitting and tying flowers together, each of you working toward the grandiose version of the perfect flower crown. And after you both finished... Wow, that's gorgeous! I'll definitely be putting this up in my dorm room, Marathon. Nice as mine. Here you go, my dear summoner. Apparently summoned me. I was thinking about it, and even though I entered a pact with you, I never did present you with any sort of offering for it. I really should just choose my form more carefully in that case, but I can always gift you something more formal down the line. Maybe continue to thrive in all we do. No need for formalities here. But we can be the best friends. I suppose not. Well, either way, let's forge ahead into the bright future together, shall we? Feel free to call me on anytime you need some pancreation support. I'll even borrow a bow from the archery club if need be. With a grin like a beautifully budding flower, Hippolytus reiterates his bond with you as a transient. Flowers bloom all around you on the sunlit hillside, dancing in the wind as if trembling with excitement for the coming spring. And there, cast upon the tranquil scene, are two shadows standing hand in hand, neither separating nor joining, but walking on in perfect lockstep with one another, side by side. Wow. Okay, so the vote winner is... Oh, God, Jesus Christ. You guys, calm down. Pick Takeminakata, he's the harder of two. Well, that sucks. I don't know who to pick, honestly. Kind of in the middle with both of them. So it's only fair we pick Taishaka instead, right? Surely not. Let's go to thing. Memories. No, not that. Do story. No, the event. No, do special quests of Valentine's Crossroad. No, not that. Valentine's Crossroad. And we will sort it by descending, and we'll pick one of these lovely people here. Just do me a favor, please. Oddly, don't think I haven't forgotten what you did last time to our last vote. Sus. Whatever, fine. We will do Takeminakata. Sorry, Krampus fans. You can take it up with Oddly Rival here, who made 10 million puppet accounts just to vote for Takeminakata. I am Takeminakata. To put it in Tokyo terms, I'm what you might call the biggest loser from my hometown. I was a sumo wrestler there, renowned across the land for being unbeatable. I was at the height of my glory. That's why I accepted the challenge from some vagrant who came from... Oh, who knows where it really. Could have descended from the heavens for all I know. They did in fact descend from the heavens. It was one of the children of Amaterasu who cut off his arms. What was it I said just before the match? There's no way someone like me could lose to this joker. Ah, how naive I was. How I would come to regret saying that. By the end of the match, I was the most pathetic person in the world. I was practically begging for my life. This is true. After he lost both of his arms, he fled. And then, I believe he at some point they caught up maybe? I don't know. But he eventually just gave up and said he cedes the land. I let the tears flow down my face and I bowed real deep, asking my worthy challenger to please spare me. I'll do anything. Which is kind of upsetting the fact that they made Takeminakata bow down and surrender at the same time for chapter 13. I'm reliving bad memories and forced Takeminakata to do that again. My strength, my pride, all gone in an instant. Dulled and ripped apart by the icy stare of my opponent. The worst part is, the signs were all there from the start. This was a loss I should have easily been able to see coming. It was a once-in-a-lifetime match, with the person I loved more than anything in attendance. Yet all I could show for those eager eyes was the most pitiful part of me. And any romance story, that would be the very archetype of a loser. I mean, I don't really hear any stories of success from Takeminakata based on what I read of them. Yet I was able to get away, and I was able to continue my life. Only now it was a life of shame. I'm one of the 6. Okay, so apparently he's one of them. Something he's just like, yeah, be in the gang. Bro thinks he's part of the gang. Like, I understand what's it called. Hakumen and Ophion and what's it called? Lucifuge. That was established as the main 3. In fact, they acknowledge each other as the main 3. What's it called? Sasagwa is a stretch. Just because he kind of works under Hakumen. I mean, I guess he's there. She made a pact with him, so I guess you can consider him a top executive too. But you know, it's kind of like not of conflicting origins. And it seems like Yuma also cooperates with Hakumen quite well. So this Hakumen faction is actually quite the largest out of all of them. But Takeminakata himself, he's just like, yeah, I'm here too. Like, okay, sure, if you say so. I've never heard of this, but if you say so. Based on Minato word. Family lineage, financial means, field studies, natural charisma. None of it mattered in that match, but all of it comes in handy here. I see. Not by nature of his loss, but more so in nature by his, stance as a ruler from the Zoroartian world. As someone who is worshipped, he ended up having a second chance there. Life goes on, even for those of us who lose. It's always the darkest before the dawn, and every winter eventually has its spring. You wait patiently in front of the school for the person you've promised to enjoy the final day of Sekai Valentines with. That person is Takeminakata, whom you haven't seen for a few days since he was the first among your friends to depart the school after everything was said and done. Hey! Arthur! Oh, so good to see you again. You weren't waiting long, were you? Oh, I only just got here myself. I actually got here a little too early, though. What a question for a ruler to ask. Oh? Are you imitating Hawkman just now? You're getting pretty good at it. You really got her inflections down pat. Oh ho ho and all that, right? I mean, the night is a private affair. To act as a ruler would be improper. So give me a break. Well, if you were dating any one of the other rulers, I'm sure they would disagree. I actually planned on getting back to Setagaya a lot sooner, but, well... going around and schmoozing with everyone back home took longer than I expected. And now it's the last day. Well, let's not worry about that right now. First things first. You ought to enjoy the festivities, right, Arthur? But this new Takeminakata you've yet to see be your escort. Like a real city boy. Takeminakata extends his hands and flashes you a confident smile that could charm just about anyone. This is all the same, but I don't know. You settle up next to Takeminakata, and instead of taking his outstretched hand, you wrap your own arm around his. Well now, Arthur, you are a bold one. The two of you chat merrily as you proceed through the school grounds, from the Grand Fountain Plaza to the central courtyards, on what has become a standard date course among the students. As expected, you encounter countless couples along the way, each struggling to maintain a proper distance from one another, so as not to overcrowd the magical setting and rob it of its allure. Ah, look at all them couples. They seem to be getting along well. That's my heart at ease just seeing them like that. Poor Shakutan. I know just what you mean. Let's be careful not to disturb them. They get along pretty well too. I mean, of course they do. Like, when you put it like that, it kind of makes me blush though. The two of you pass through the courtyard, being mindful of the other students as you do. Takeminakata pauses for a moment just outside the sports club building and looks around. Then after regaining his bearings, guides you to a spot he's clearly been building toward. Well, what do you think? Pretty warm, huh? They leave some in the greenhouse open over here. And since I'm super bad with the cold, I went searching to find some place you and I could hang out with while staying nice and toasty. That is peculiar. He lost his arms to a sword of ice, I believe, which is why he's afraid of to talk about. Apparently we went indoors that one last time in the Epilogue and he was still running in the cold, so what's up with that? Check it out. I brought some herbal tea too. Let's have a seat at the table over there. You sit down at a cozy table for two in public space Takeminakata was able to find. You know, I just realized I didn't even ask if you were okay with it here. Let me know if you'd prefer to go someplace else. Like, if you prefer the outdoors, or if there's some place you had your heart set on. Or just say the word and I'll take you there. You found a perfect spot, I'd say. You really think so? I just thought there must be places seeing other than the Grand Fountain or the courtyard. Even Roppongi Cruz says I have an eye for finding the best stuff. And I'm glad I was able to do its thing here, too. First bet, Jesus. That's first. All it takes is a little scouting ahead, and this is what you get. It takes time, but no amount of time is too much to spend on you. Actually, come to think of it, I haven't really told you anything about my trip back to Roppongi yet, have I? No, you haven't. How's everything in Tycoons? Well, I mean, it was my guildmasters and Link who suggested I come to Sentai in the first place, so I sure can't forget him. I made the rounds thanking them and giving them souvenirs and such. They're doing great. What really got me though was how much the expressions changed when I mentioned that I ran into you here. You sure do get around, huh? It was like you were well connected. All at the same time, actually. Oh, but then there's actually the matter I was telling you about before. I'm fighting new recruits for the Super Club. Don't tell me it didn't go well. The expression you were met with upon pursuing this line of questioning is completely flat. No happiness nor sadness comes through. Only a sense of disconnect. I can't say there's been no progress. See, somebody did come by. Only it wasn't to become a club member, but rather a manager. Manager, huh? Who is this? I feel like I saw this in another story, but I can't remember where. New recruits are still firmly at 0. I just don't get it. We got sponsors and installed foundations, so why? You should bank on your natural charm. Many people prefer to just watch. Have you tried appealing to common folk? Huh? You mentioned something about that when we were talking in the dorm before, too. I don't really get it, but if you think I got charm enough to woo potential new recruits, I can certainly give it a shot. Either way, I just need to keep at it. Sooner or later, I'll find people who really understand the joys of sumo. Takeminakata continues chatting with you, really feeling comfortable opening up to you and seemingly never once pausing to catch his breath. You both sip your herbal tea as you chat until it's all gone, and before you know it, several hours have gone by. That's what Ashigata wanted? Did he want to become a manager? I don't think Ashigata is the type of person who'd want to be a manager. Oh, wow. You've been here a really long time. There's some other places I want to take you to, Arthur. Gotta say, though, this herbal tea's really hit the spot. Just what my throat needed. I can up the throat with something else. Takeminakata continues escorting you to various events, stalls, and displays around campus. Check out this plant toy. Really bold. Don't you think? If you'd like to, I'll gladly buy one. Hey, can you ring me up? I want 2 of these hand towels. One for each of us, though I'll be paying. Oh, watch your step. This whole area has got money in slippery yards and... I'm so busy watching my step, I wasn't looking in front of my face. I walked right into that branch. Rip. You want to be a manager since everyone in school plays sports? You're right that there was some sort of talk about a manager before we met up with Takeminakata. I just can't remember the exact details. Hey, what's this? Why not arm wrestling and get a prize? Sounds fun to me. Sign me up! Excuse me! Yeah, that was a good match. Here, you can have my prize, Arthur. Come on, take it! Ain't got no use for it. And I only won because I knew you were watching me. He gave me strength. Yep. You have a lot of fun following Takeminakata's lead and checking out everything the open campus has to offer. And to the other students in attendance, the obvious trust and affection you two share has not gone unnoticed, bringing smiles to the faces of many passerby. What a spot. Once the sun sets and you've fully enjoyed what final day of the event has to offer, the two of you find yourselves in the school's central courtyard. You sit next to one another on a bench as the students around you are all file out, since the shops and stalls have all closed and packed out by this point.
Was sure a lot of fun, huh? I really enjoy the festivals and events like this. I kind of feel like I was the only one of us really getting into it, though. Was I okay as an escort? You have fun, too.
Hey, absolutely no complaints here. You were perfect, even when you weren't. What does that even mean?
Well, that's good. Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
You dork.
You mean I slipped up every now and again, but you enjoyed yourself all the same? Is that supposed to be a compliment?
I mean, that branch moment was kind of funny.
I guess as long as you're happy, that's all that really matters.
As he says it, Takeminakata reaches into his bag and produces a small bag, a box, which he immediately hands to you.
Thank you so much for today. I'm sure there was a lot you wanted to do that we didn't get to. But you let me escort you around Setai instead. So I'd like you to have these chocolates as a token of my appreciation. We're both going back to our regular routine starting tomorrow, and I hate even thinking about that. I'm gonna miss you. At times like these, I always think back on the time I spent living with somebody I truly loved in my homeland. Like Goku. Because just like this, the fun times I had and the happiness I felt had to come to an end eventually. And it's just really sad. So I'm grateful I had the chance to spend this last day off the event with you, and even give you something to cap it all off.
I'm grateful to you too, Takeminakata.
This will be a treasured memory.
You happily take Takeminakata's chocolates, but give them some of your own in return.
Oh, you brought some too. Wow, thanks. I'm thrilled to have a marathon.
As he stands up, so too do you. And though you are loath to part, you decide that since it's now time to take your leave of Setai Academy, you should close out your day together with some meaningful words. This isn't the end of our happy times. For every end brings a new beginning, and we're only just getting started.
Marathon?
I want to be by your side, always.
Marathon. Do you really mean it? This is when I realized how glad I was to be alive! I might be the most fortunate person in the world!
Takeminakata takes a step past you, and suddenly he's all you can see.
Hey, so, I want to hug you now, okay, Earthen? Hope you enjoyed the weight of a sumo wrestler!
Although he's come to no loss, Takeminakata remains a ruler by blood and by education, and he doesn't mince words when he's addressing someone important to him.
As I look at you now, I just can't help but succumb to these feelings of pure infatuation.
Should we let him hug, or should we do the hugging first?
I
don't know. I'll hug him first. Takeminakata welcomes your embrace and gives as good as he gets, hugging you back with all his might, before crushing all your bones and then before destroying your ass.
If you really meant everything you said, then I feel as though I can't stand for you with a head held high even in times of loss. No matter where my rank in the hierarchy, what world I may live in, or how much of a loser I may be at any given moment.
He punctuates this by leaning in for a kiss, and strikes head on without hesitation. It's as clumsy and awkward as it is magnificent. The flowers surrounding you two dance in a breeze, giving their blessings to the love you declared here in this courtyard. And even after all the lights that have been shut off, the moonlight still reveal a silhouette upon the bench. The two have since become one. Imagine sitting in that very pretty bench that's lit in this night and kissing someone. That's romantic. But also, like 2 years ago, we got constant sex on special quests, so I guess they finally turned that down. It's kind of wild how much we had sex with people in like 2023 Valentine's was a Valentine fantasy, and the entire year, to be honest, with their special quests. I guess we're back to more romantic stuff, so that's nice. That just went sticky. Surely. Well, maybe he's a sloppy kisser. I like that. But yeah, if you want to see the rest, you'll have to see them on your own. Honestly, you might want to see Takeminakata's on your own too. just because I'm not sure, but maybe the special quest's outcome changes depending on your choices of the main story. Who knows? Maybe it's just the epilogue. I'm not entirely sure how that works out. I will probably explore the other options myself. But yeah, that is it for today. That's my guild. So, we have finally finished Valentine's Crossroads. I hope you beautiful people have enjoyed it. It is quite a very low-key story, and yet also had a lot of emotional highs. Somehow we are able to really focus less on the plot and more so on the emotional connection with everyone. I mean, if you think about it, it was just some goofy gang of, like, what's called incels who we just stopped with a kind of one episode early before the end of the event even happened in episode 5. So not too much in terms of big plot, scary things, end of the world, or anything like that. But nonetheless, we still touched on some pretty strong emotions today, between dealing with the loss of a loved one and like trying to find the meaning of love beyond that point, and like as in the case of Masanori, anyways, and even with Hippolytus and feeling like left out because they don't actually understand what love is. That can be related to a lot of different feelings, not just within that sort of aromanticism, asexualism. There's other sort of neurological, atypical, if you will, sort of states of mind that can sort of give you a familiarity to that feeling. And then, I guess, or the other ones? I feel like the other ones are a bit like wish-washy. But, Krampus, again, we've already seen 2 events from him, so it kind of makes sense as a more direct, silly kind of love with him being a hero. So it's fine to have, like, one simple one like that. Taishakin, I don't know what his entire deal was. He was just like, I gotta support my, like, homeland of, I already forgot what his place is. Pseudo-Rucho or something. But, he seems to be a bit shy and doesn't know love as much as even Krampus. Even though Krampus is shy, like, Taishakin seems like to be completely oblivious of it. So it's like we're getting, like, progressive levels of, familiarity, love, and comfortableness with love. So it was a very interesting emotional exploration about all that. I'm already forgetting someone. I know there's one more unit I haven't talked about yet. Masanori, Taishakin, Takeminakata, that's it. His entire thing, I mean, it seems like he was just trying to find his own footing, to be confident, and to, I guess his entire arc was about just like trying to find some way to stand proud after being declared a loser and trying to find his identity past that. I guess his thing wasn't even about love in the end, but more so about just trying to find meaning in life, identity in life, acceptance of his current stance in life. I believe that was what the choice was related to in his dedicated episode. It was something about whether he should, eventually accept who he is currently, or maybe he should think about it more. Something like that. I wonder how the options would change between the special quest or the epilogue. So we will Sorry, I did forget about Takeminakata for a second. But yeah, good point though. The mobs themselves were definitely a highlight for this event. We saw the mobs early as the villains. I'm glad it wasn't just like some last second villains. I absolutely just hated last second villains. I mean, Hippolytus aside, his thing was also kind of confusing, but at least we saw his motivations from the beginning in terms of, or could infer it from the beginning. But yeah, it wasn't nonsensical, and it was nice seeing the villains established from the mobs. They were silly, but they weren't a complete joke either. They're a bit like the villains from Summer River Adventure. But at the same time, they're more than Summer Adventure, because Summer River Adventures were written like, Saturday morning cartoon villains. And in a sense, these ones were too. But that was kind of like intentional, because they characterized the member leader of the ABC gang to be a big fan of Sentai, with him watching whatever Krampus watches. And it seems like the other members are also just, chill too for their own sort of things, like member A comes sneaking in like a dumbass and then fighting us. I don't even know what to say to that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of every single mob that has shown up. No mob, I'm thinking back, like no mob that has had like a line kind of left an underwhelming impression. There were those that flirted with Hippolytus, even the one, especially in the beginning, who, confessed to Hippolytus, had such characterization, They're the ones that, you know, were asking questions gently. They're the ones walking by in the park. They're the ones who had the crush on Volos. Oh gosh, that one, those two were the best. The Volos typers. What happened to that? I kind of wished Volos in his last like cameo would have like regaled us on how that turned out. Maybe he's just like sleeping with bitches. Also, what's up with Volos? He showed up and was like, exploding watermelons doesn't look familiar. Like, okay, Volos, sure, Jan. Me, definitely not you. But yeah, it was I don't know. It approached it in a way that I think, if you described it to me, I wouldn't have liked it. But execution-wise, it turned out better than I thought. Emotional development, no wastage of characters. Everyone gets to be featured throughout, and different explorations of a central theme. Not just like, you know, everyone has their own individual thing that tries to be shoehorned in, but rather everyone's is connected in this central theme of, you know, their interfacing with love, whether it's Krampus's shyness, Taishakden's sort of ignorance about it. What's it called? Takeminakata's, I guess, he's probably the least love obsessed, to be honest. But I guess it's more about like his compatibility of his identity with love, which is more of a positive thing in that case of his incompatibility with love. As well as Masanori's sort of post-grievance perspectives on love. So, big fan of these mature themes and I guess the spectrum of this examination. Not a good story for the plot, but definitely a good story for thematic exploration and for character development. And I don't know, just good vibes overall. I was never particularly bored at any point, really. It never drug out because I was genuinely interested in what the characters were saying and feeling, and generally interested in trying to understand how they're feeling. I say, as you know, these are all pre-written characters, but you know, this is what fiction does to us. We end up being obsessed and concerned for characters that don't actually have that sort of response or mentality. But yeah, you want to follow Takeminakata's arms and bellies. I'm kind of curious about the other options. Probably my suggestions for this, for anyone that actually has a lot of time in their hands, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play through everyone else's stories or special quests as well. I'll probably redo Hippolytus. I'm not sure if he'll say something else that's different from what I picked. Maybe if I said I'll be the best of his friends, and maybe he'll do something different. I'm not entirely sure. It seemed kind of cheeky though, like, oh yeah, best friends, friend zoned. That's why I didn't want to pick it. But after that, I would then go back to part 2 of every episodes from episodes 1 to 5. Pick the other option. I know Hippolytus says right, so you need to do it twice for him. And then review the epilogue as well as the special quest to see if there's any changes. I kind of wish there was a more explicit way to determine where the changes take place. But, you know, this is an experimental event that first introduced this splitting option feature. So this is my suggestions for anyone who doesn't know how to actually see the splitting dialogue, who's interested in seeing it. But yeah, I guess that's all I can say about that. Yeah. Was that Intermission? So that is it for Valentine's Crossroads. I hope you enjoyed this event. I know I certainly did. As for if it's my favorite Valentine's Day event, it's up there. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite. I am a big fan of all this, but you know, I might like Valentine Fantasy a bit more. And you know, Snowball Fight also had its own advantages, so they're all up there. I don't want to pick a favorite right now. But yeah, besides that, look forward to a video on, this is the start of mentioning it, on evaluating the new topics, aka just mostly the equips as well as the evolutions. Probably by the end of Friday or Saturday, just because there might be some new pickup banner, which there is a new pickup banner coming up. I just don't know exactly what it is. Maybe it's at the end of the event, maybe it's in the middle of it. But yeah, that new pickup banner will be featuring Summer Lab, so look forward to that whenever that comes. But yeah, take care everyone, beautiful day, and I will see you next time. Peace. That's all for now, cuties.